In California, Governor Gavin Newsome recently opened a shelter space for homeless people, 40 people, singles. And this shelter was more or less a concrete area with 40 tiny houses, beautiful houses, and surrounded by a large high fence right next to a highway. I'm a trauma counselor. I specialize in the development of diseases, mental illnesses, and addictions due to disruptions in the functioning of our nervous system. And when I look at the type of buildings, type of environment that's being provided to homeless people, I really would have wanted to see something else that's more in tune with nature, with trees, with some greenery around it, so that the nervous system of the people living there could calm down after the stressors, many millions of humiliations and pain that homelessness and poverty brings to people. In a city with 60,000 homeless people, giving homes to 40 adults that don't have kids with them is to me an embarrassment, not a success. And I say that to not to berate the work done or demean it in any way, but to remind our government that they need to serve all the homeless people right now because the emergency that they're going through. And please look at it as an transient situation that they're going to enter and will get out of. We don't want to see homeless people living in those situations, living homeless, living in poverty forever. We want them to fix whatever reason that got them into that situation and get themselves back up into becoming productive members of the society, productive, happy, and healthy members of the society. Only then can you eliminate the problem of homelessness, not by locking homeless people behind fences and saying, go do whatever you will do as long as I don't see you there. And the stressors that homeless people are experiencing are so high, it's only natural that one person will become, ingrained in a world of addictions and crime and self-pity, depression, and other mental illnesses as longer they stay in that situation. So we really need to get them out of that situation as soon as possible. And to look at these people as citizens of this country just as much as the people who have houses, who have cars, that have incomes. These can be, these homeless people can be you and me easily. During COVID-19, 40 million people lost their jobs. And another factor that I always talk about, I'm going to repeat myself here, the knowledge that homelessness can be so terrifying, so wretched, is a fear in every single one of us that makes us, that steals our freedom to choose from us, the freedom to choose how we're going to expand our intellectual capacity, how we're going to choose what we're going to invest our time on. 40% of youth in this country are struggling when it comes to choosing their major. Well, as a person who's worked with children and youth for a long time, I can tell you, just ask those children, those youth, what they would like to learn during the next year or two. and they will tell you in a heartbeat what interests them and what they want to learn. The problem comes up when they start factoring in, will this bring me money? Will I be able to have a family with this money? How likely am I going to be to pay my college bills? And so on and so forth. The fear of poverty drives us into sleepless nights and painful choices where we need to where we end up killing our intuition and choosing something just because the society says that it will bring us money. But when you look at all the successful people out there, the highly creative Bill Gates, founder of Apple, I forget his name. Gosh, and Jeff Bezos, and all these people are always talking about the importance of following your intuition and sometimes taking risks, going places where no one has gone before. And poverty, the wretchedness of poverty, rather, is the reason why we experience those challenges. So, just because we aren't behind those fences next to that highway, living in a concrete area, doesn't mean that we're not getting hurt by it as well. So it's this petition is to remind our government officials to ask homeless people what services they need and to keep in their mind that the services are needed right now, not in 5 years, not in 10 years. Governor talked about $3 billion to expand onto this project. Please spend some of that money in immediate temporary transitional housing or tents. Living in a warm tent that's insulated, that's in a nature area where people can store their belongings behind locked doors, but where they live in a tent freely and they have access to showers and toilets available 24/7, where they have an office space and access to electricity so they can get on a computer and use a phone when necessary, so that they can become productive, so they can actually take part in everyday life. These are the things that homeless people need right now. So please, when you're using that $3 billion, think of the homeless in California as people who have been displaced due to some natural disaster. What would you have done for those people? Do it for the homeless. We would have gathered, again, as an emergency therapist, I know we would build tents, we would build communal restrooms, showers, we would bring resources for them, and those people would have found housing. We just look at homeless people as if that's how they're going to live forever. And that should not be the case. We should put it into our heads that those people will get out of the streets tomorrow. And if we can't come up with resources by tomorrow, by the end of this week, it's important, it's urgent. Getting children off of the streets is important. It's a traumatic experience. A child should not be homeless. And we should prioritize families with children to go into those tiny houses, because parents with children need those private bathrooms, they need those private showers. Individuals, they don't. I'm single. I'm not really demeaning singledom, but we don't need private bathrooms, private showers. We can do that easily with public places that are decent in design, that are clean, and again, accessible 24/7. Today, for some reason, the city is closing, locking all the restrooms after sundown. And I haven't understood why. And I don't really care right now, because the important thing is the homeless people should have places that are specifically designed for their needs, not a place that's converted from something else that the homeless people will have to adapt into. This is a population that has special needs, and we need to accommodate those special needs. Thank you very much, and please sign this petition so that the government understands we care. We care about our homeless people. We care how our money is spent, and we want those homeless out of the streets tomorrow. Thank you.